This is a circus. It's a national disgrace. And from my standpoint, as a black American, as far as I'm concerned, it is a high-tech lynching for uppity blacks who in any way deign to think for themselves, to do for themselves, to have different ideas. And it is a message that unless you kowtow to an old order, this is what will happen to you. You will be lynched, destroyed, caricatured by a committee of the U.S. Senate rather than hung from a tree.
And I promise you, if they go about their burden of whatever they said you're doing, you pull your pussy out and you bust at it. You pull your pussy out and you bust at it.
Hey everybody, it's Everett coming to you in a video another one that I don't want to make. What does Clarence Thomas, Black Lives Matter, and the state of Ohio have to do with each other? Actually a lot, unfortunately, thanks to our wonderful Governor Mike Dewine. But you just saw a clip of the Democrats trying to destroy and vilify one of the great men of our time, Clarence Thomas. And that's all they ever do. Clarence Thomas, his autobiography was the last book that I gave to my mom, the last Christmas present I gave to my mom before she died. He's a great man. We owe a great deal to him. And thank God he survived their efforts. But they're still doing it. They hated Steve Harvey just because he met with Donald Trump.
Towers to meet with Donald Trump. Now, the hell I call the sheer misery for making that decision. I've been so many coons, Uncle Tom, sellouts. I was stunned.
Steve Harvey's never endorsed or said anything even positive about Donald Trump, but they hated him for it yet the same. They hate people like Candace Owens because she thinks for herself, she's bright, she's articulate.
Slavery was all over the world, which is a fact. Why are you booing a fact?
Because you're making light of.
No, I'm not.
You're making light
I
of
haven't
the
gotten into my points.
enslavement
I'm not
of
making
people that look like us. You can't make light of that. That ain't nothing you
I haven't
breeze
even
over.
finished the sentence. How am I making
You
light of
started
anything?
with some.
I think it's pretty apparent that Mr. Liu believes that black people are stupid and will not pursue the full clip in its entirety. He purposely presented an extracted clip.
The witness will suspend for a moment. It is not proper to refer disparagingly or to a member of the committee. The witness will not do that again. The witness may continue.
Sure, even though I was called despicable.
The witness may not refer to a member of the committee as stupid.
I didn't refer to him as stupid. That's not what I said. That's not what I said at all. You didn't listen to what I said.
But yet they destroy her. They're rude to her. They hate people. This is beyond me. Like the amazing Ben Carson, grew up in a single-parent family. Just his story is absolutely amazing. He went on to do some of the most amazing things in his field that anybody has ever done, and yet they hate him and destroy him. Why? Because he doesn't fit their narrative.
It's such bullshit. You know, forgive my language. And so it really angers me to see Ben Carson, someone who we used to admire within the black community during Black History Month, having his face on a poster board in my classroom all those years, see him spew this kind of ridiculous rhetoric. I would much rather he just shut the hell up than continue to perpetuate this ridiculous rhetoric. Stop it. Get out of the way. You're in the way now.
They ridicule people like Kanye West that has a brain of his own, thinks for himself, uses his voice. They want you to bow down to them. I'm not bowing down to anybody except Jesus, folks. I ain't doing it. I'm not ashamed of who I am, where I come from. I don't have to give you a list of the people that are my friends and who I associate with. I don't have to do that. Candace Owens was right about them. This group, they hate anybody that thinks for themselves, and they like to make a messiah out of the people that are the lowest level of society. Everybody knows that George Floyd's death was horrific and tragic, and people need to go to prison forever. Everybody knows that. Nobody disagrees with that, but that's not what they care about. They want to control, and they want to divide and conquer. When you see Jerry Nadler being so disrespectful to a lady who's bright and articulate and has a different point of view. It tells you a lot about him. Who is Black Lives Matter? Black Lives Matter is a leftist Marxist organization. Have all these people that are bowing down to them, worshiping them, have they even done even like 5 clicks of a mouse worth of investigation? They're a leftist organization. I'm going to read you what their 2 original founders said. Alicia Garza, are as leftists, well, that should give something away right there. As people who care about the future of humanity, our core task is to build this movement, but bigger than that, our task is to build a left. Opal Tometi said to the United Nations, I would argue the international community faces 3 core challenges to advancing human rights. They are global capitalism, white supremacy, and the suppression of democracy. There you have it right there. Black Lives Matter is all about the suppression of democracy and against capitalism. I'm not going to bow down to them. Where do they get their money? Well, they're funded by George Soros. Is Wikipedia fairly reliable? Go to Wikipedia, look up Black Lives Matter, and you'll find out they're funded by the Open Society Foundation. You click on that, you find out that's George Soros to the tune of $100 million or more. But they've taken it a lot farther than shaking down foundations. Now they shake down corporations. And so you have Pepsi, you have Amazon, ponying up $10 million to them and other organizations. So that means every time I watch a Prime Video, every time I order office supplies delivered to my door, unfortunately, I'm supporting Black Lives Matter. It bothers me, but I tell you what, I'm not going to be bullied. I'm not going to be bullied by people that want me to treat them like they are Jesus, okay? When Jesus said to his disciples at the Last Supper, one of you will betray me, they all said, is it I? Is it I? They weren't sure. Folks, I'm never going to stop going with my gut, okay? Somebody asked me if I'm racist. I'm not going to say, let me think. I've never been racist. I'm not racist. I've never been racist to anybody in my life. Thank you very much. And you are not the arbiter of my conscience, of my interactions with people. I'm not going to be an idiot like Mitt Romney trying to pander and to a bunch of people that are going to do nothing but use him for a photo op and then spit him up as soon as the camera's gone. You know something, people, you got to be sensitive about people's feelings. You know what? I'm not worried about feelings. If I was worried about feelings, I'd be in therapy and in counseling right now, because ever since I supported Donald Trump and ever since I voted for Donald Trump, then I and everybody else that supported him, we're all racist. Well, I got news for you. We're not racist, okay? Donald Trump is not racist. I'll tell you something else about Donald Trump. He's done more for the black community than any president in my lifetime, from criminal justice reform to unemployment to opportunity zones where it matters most, trying to help areas that the Democrats have ignored and let go to rot for years and years and years. But you want to call me racist? I'm not gonna have it. I'll tell you something else Black Lives Matter is about. They're about violence.
Last night, when that police station went up in flames, me and my girlfriend, we poured shots. We were happy. It was a celebration in this house.
We are here to fight back collectively against that system.
So Black organizers and multiracial groups of organizers in Minneapolis have been building power in the city for years now. And part of what they've been able to do with that power is to bring a lot of the city on their side. What we are seeing is not just chaos, we're actually seeing resistance and organizing. And what we know is that uprisings, including actions like burning buildings, are legitimate and powerful forms of resistance.
They're about violence. They're about co-opting people's legitimate desire. Protesting is legitimate, unless you want to protest about the coronavirus lockdown.
When it turns into burning, looting in the streets, I don't see it being productive. I don't see it advancing the cause that I read on that paper.
You're talking about 1% of these marches.
But you don't say anything against them, though. But how? You don't say that's too far.
You know what? Because a riot is the language of the unheard, right? And for a country that drops bombs on people, for a country that incarcerates people, for a country that enslaves people, to criticize us, right, for vandalism, it's preposterous.
But that's another issue. But they co-opt that, and then they align themselves with these militant groups that are just waiting for an opportunity to come in and rabble-rouse and riot and loot, and they're okay with that.
Ilhan Omar, the radical progressive Minnesota representative whose district includes Minneapolis, was alleged to have been seen mingling with Antifa protesters at a Trump rally in Minnesota 7 months earlier with her married boyfriend, Tim Minette.
And evidently, this is where I'm trying to end up. Evidently, that's what our governor's okay with too, because when our Capitol was ransacked and our Capitol taxpayer-funded structures were damaged and businesses had their windows busted out, Mike DeWine never even condemned it. If it's out there that he said it, show it to me. I've not seen it. He stands up there and tries to make a show of understanding legitimate protest. I never saw him making a show of understanding legitimate protest about the virus, but he never condemned it. He never protected the city of Columbus. He knew that it was coming. He should have seen it coming. He didn't do a thing about it. But then to add insult to injury, to really bring this home for a landing, as bad of an idea and as horrible as it is, for Ohioans, this whole contact tracing thing. When he partnered up, or contracted rather, with Partners in Health, he's partnering or contracting with the group that gave $80 million to Planned Parenthood. But to add more insult on top of all that injury, when you go to the Partners in Health website and you read their statement about George Floyd, it has some absolute lies about America. It says that America is a country with 400 years of systemic racism. That's a lie. That's a lie. The Pilgrims weren't racist. The Pilgrims weren't slaveholders. Yeah, there were slaveholders in America, and there were a whole lot of people that were against it. So you had people for, you had people against, you had people in the middle, but in the beauty and the wisdom of our Constitution, there was the ability to resolve that issue. And by 1865, the Emancipation Proclamation was signed. And your argument about 400 years, it's crap. And then you point to the 1964 Civil Rights Act. Can I just ask you a question? If Black Lives Matter, after the Civil Rights Act, why do you have so few double-parent families in the black community? I'm just asking, why are we now aborting more black babies than black babies are born? And you say you care about Black Lives Matter. Why don't you care about all the people that are shot every weekend in Chicago? Hey, we interrupt this broadcast. Sometimes glitches are a good thing, because I'm going to tell you about the one that really frosts my rear end. But I'm in a pretty excited mood as I do it, because this is the night that Ding Dong Amy Acton's almost gone. It's kind of an insult that she's still on the payroll, but we'll take that as a first step victory. That's one almost down, 2 to go. DeWine's past his time. Husted is busted. And it's time for new leadership. But the one that really frosts my rear end is when I read on the people that we are paying to knock on our doors on their website is this sentence right here: against state-sponsored violence. I guess, Mike DeWine, I guess you don't have any friends that are in law enforcement. I guess you don't know any police officers. I guess you don't know anybody that puts their life on the line, state highway patrolmen and sheriffs. I guess you don't know any of those people, because if you did, you wouldn't insult them by hooking up with some people that are going to make stupid statements like that. Mike DeWine aligning us with a group like Partners in Health that's funded by Gates, funded by Soros, is working with Bill and Chelsea Clinton in this program, and they're pro-abortion and they're pro-militantism and using race to divide us. Mike DeWine, you've really, really, really betrayed us. Hey, that's all I've got. Until next time, God bless you, God bless your family, God bless this wonderful state of Ohio. Liberation is coming, and God bless the United States of America.